Hello humans, Master Dinnerflex here bringing you the low quality content you deserve, and today I'll be doing a real life deck profile of Fire Fist. Now this is going to be for the new format which comes up tomorrow depending on if this video comes out the same day, but yesterday I played in previous format and I got first place at my locals, undefeated, but it was like there were almost no rounds, so it like doesn't matter. But I wanted to explain some of the choices because this is the Axis 3 build, and a lot of people are very like hesitant on this build, and I'm gonna explain all the choices once we get into it. So let's start off. Since this is Axis 3, we are playing all of the good level 3s except what's it called? Raven. Raven I don't like because he's not synergetic with the rest of the engine. And yeah, that's basically it. You have to link him off into Almirage, and then you have to have an extender. And if you don't have that, you're not doing anything. And I don't like that. I want to make this deck as efficient as possible. So we got 3 Spirit. Spirit, as you know, it revives any of these 9 monsters. Then you can make Horse Prince, or Lion Emperor, or Eagle, or Peacock. All the cool stuff. Now, Rooster, very important. When he's special summoned by a Fire Fist monster, you search a Fire Fist monster, and then, not a hard once per turn, he can cycle 1 fire formation for another. And then this one is a lot of one that people aren't going to know what it does, but when it's normal summoned, you can discard a card to target a face-up fire formation, set a different fire formation name from your deck, and then when it's special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, you set a fire formation spell or trap from your deck that's a different name from everyone in your graveyard, similar to Shizuku, where like if you have an empty graveyard, it can set anything, but if you have a full graveyard, its options get very limited. That being said, it's another thing that Spirit can summon, and it's in the full Wombo combo. You use this to discard like a random level 3 Fire Fist that anything can revive, and this is just a lone fire for fire formations. The typical combo is a level 3 Tensu and a Spirit, but all of them can do it in 2-card combos. But all you need is to resolve Spirit and you can get the whole engine going. Then we got 3 dragons. This is kind of interesting because originally I was just playing 1, but it came up a lot that I was like, I really need a second one just to like search for next turn because, well, this deck may gain a lot of cards. Not a lot of them are actually disruptions. It's only like 1 to 2 disruptions, maybe a floodgate in between. The more sole purpose is that if your opponent plays through the disruptions but doesn't kill you, they lose because you have so much follow-up, you have so much establishment, you have so many searches, you're so far ahead of them on cards that you can just break their board and push for game next turn if they don't kill you through the handful of disruptions you put up. And that being said, Dragon is one of those cards where you want to have another one for those scenarios. But not only that, but since it's a control version, you actually just want to grind your opponent out sometimes. So like even having the 3rd one just to have is insane. But that's it for the dragons. Then we got 1 gorilla, 1 bear, and 1 buffalo. Buffalo is important for the combo, but these 2 are just as toolbox options. I'm not playing Panda because Panda is terrible. It's actually just awful. And I'm not playing Elephant because it's only good when you search Panda. But if you're searching Panda, that card's bad, so that card, by extension, is also bad. Like, I don't know how to put it, but when you're locked into Fire Fist, you're actually really, really limited on what you can do, and you never want to be under that limit. But since we're also playing Horse Prince, you don't get to summon Panda on your turn, which means the only way you can trigger it is if you activate a trap on your opponent's turn that's a fire formation, and only then is it playable. but the only time you search it in that combo is if you already had the field, which is a one of. So in all scenarios except a single specific one, Panda is just straight up awful. And the Elephant also has the issue where you don't ever want to send to Fire Formation unless it's going to pay for itself. And Elephant is a straight -1 unless you have Eagle up. And you have to have a lot of Fire Formations already for Elephant to be good. And there's only 9 of them. And that's just not worth it. Now, in specific combo builds, they're alright. But I actually think like Elephant is just like the worst Fire Fist monster of the new set. And I think Panda is very overrated. Because the only version you would want to play Panda in is the combo version. But the combo version doesn't want to be locked into just Fire Fist. So, yeah. And then finally for the last monsters, we got 3 Ash Blossom. It's actually really funny. The reason you play this is because it's a fire tuner more than the fact that it's a hand trap. You can make horse prints with this and you can recycle this with Lion Emperor. If it wasn't for the fact that it was a fire tuner, it could easily just not be in this deck. But since you can make horse prints in desperate scenarios and you can also recycle it with Lion Emperor, it's worth playing. We got the fire formations. Every spell in this deck is a fire formation outside of 1. Tenki, Tensu, you need these cards. You absolutely need to see these cards as quick as possible. Then, Laying Pink, it's not actually because it does anything, it's more the fact that it's just another name that you can just activate and cycle if you need to. But if not, it's going to get you a search every turn. Dome for the combo and Yokai for a toolbox. Then the last spell, which I didn't play this at my locals, it was a warning instead, but Pot of Avarice. This card is cool because your deck goes through about 1,000 monsters and just put them all back, draw 2. It's very nice. Then for the traps, we got 2 Sento and 1 Tensen. Tensen's really bad, but there are no other traps that even slightly are worth playing besides Tensen. And there's no benefit to playing 3 of these. There's barely even a benefit to playing 2. Like, you could very easily play 1, but sometimes it's good that Eagle is recycling something not this every turn, so you can just set it from the deck. And for the Floodgates, the only one I play is Triple Gozen. Literally it doesn't even affect your deck in any scenario. And for the coming format with like Spiral, it's going to be very, very good. And then for the last traps, Triple Judgment, because it is a control deck. Now for the extra deck, we got double Horse Prince. Not because you need to, but in the scenarios where you actually get stopped turn 1, you need to be able to make another one. 2 Eagles I make all the time because they out the first one almost always, but then you make the second one and break their board. 2 Cardinals, because while you're playing 2 Cardinals, you actually are playing infinite Cardinals, similar to Daigusto Emerald, because the second one puts the first one back, and then the second one also puts another extra deck monster back. So once you start cycling these 2, like, your opponent's out of the game at that point. 2 Tiger King. This definitely doesn't need to be at 2, I learned. Like, at most, I use 1. Like, it's cool to have a second. And, like, it is a Dark Ruler no more, but you probably only need 1. Then for the last of the Fire Fist extra deck monsters, 1 Lion Emperor. It recycles all your stuff, very important, and it's also a rank 3. And then Peacock. The reason you play Peacock over like Borreload and Borrelsword is because when you use Spirit, you're actually locked into only attacking with Beast Warriors. And since you can't Borreload anything if you can't attack it, and you can't Borrelsword anyone if you can't attack them, yeah, it's definitely that is your best option. But it's also, while we're in Master Rule 4, it's very good to just link away stuff. Unicorn, usually what you turn the Peacock, what you stole with Peacock into. And then 1 Phoenix, 1 Almirage, 1 Dweller, and then 1 Vulcan the Divine. Dwellers you only make whenever you don't draw a Floodgate or any disruptions when you have the combo. Then for the side deck, Solemn Strike, evenly matched. Effect Veilers because your back row clogs, so it's not really great to draw an impermanence. And the rest of the side deck cards I couldn't think of, so I just put in 3 Gyoko, more Fire Fist Poppers, and then Hita. Couldn't think of anything else. The only thing I cited was like the strikes and the evenly matched. But that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And I'm actually going to like really work on this deck a lot more because I forgot how much I actually enjoyed this deck. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. And remember, Master Dinnerflax will take your soul.